Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to this session. Thank you to being here. So there is something that if you have been working with Drupal for a while, you have probably noticed we build incredible powerful systems and we evolve them to be more usable, scalable, and collaborative. And what I'm going to talk about today is one of those moments again, but in this case is about AI agents. So I'm David Galeano. I'm a senior backend developer at Factorial. I love contributing to open source. This is one of the main reasons why I'm a maintainer of several modules in the Drupal ecosystem, like Drupal AI, AI Search, Tagify, FlowDrop, and some others. So as you can imagine, these take me a lot of time, but yeah, when I'm not coding, when I'm not working, which make me feel happy and just disconnected to the work, is spending time with my family, especially with my wife and my two little princesses. So I would like to also introduce my company, Factorial. We are a digital agency based on Hamburg, Germany, with an international team of around 50 employees at the intersection of technology, design, and strategy. So we are also an active member of the Drupal and open source community. Yeah, here is the agenda for today's session, for today's talk, and I would like to walk you through 5 parts. So we will start with where we come from with AI agent in Drupal. We will see the shift from form configuration into workflows. Then we will check where we go with FlowDrop AI ecosystem. We will have a demo. We will have some demos where I will showcase how we are improving the AI and creation, or how the agent are handling in Drupal with FlowDrop. And yeah, we will check also what is next in Drupal AI and FlowDrop. And we will finish with a Q&A session where you can just ask whatever you have in mind, and I will be more than happy to resolve all the questions. So where we come from with AI agent in Drupal. Right now, the typical way to build AI agent in Drupal is using the Drupal AI module. And this is great because we build an incredible system that gives us a strong base to define prompts, tools, and also configure the agent behavior. However, all of this is handled through form configuration. And if you check how this looks like, yeah, for people who is used to work with Drupal, this is totally understandable. This is something that we already know as Drupal developer or maybe site builders. But when people come outside Drupal, may find it difficult to work with them, okay? So this leads to few challenges that we have identified. There is no clear flow, so you cannot see how the agent behaves. The logic is hidden, so debugging this becomes a guesswork. Collaboration becomes harder, especially for non-developers. And then scaling this get messy very, very fast. So what we have done is solve the capability, but we didn't solve the clarity. And here is where a FlowDrop module is going to help us to solve these problems. So until now, we have just described how AI agent configuration can be managed via form. But with FlowDrop, we will unlock a full ecosystem that let us build predictable, auditable, and secure workflows, just facilitating the way that AI agents are created in this case in Drupal. And to make all this possible, we rely on the following modules. So let me introduce them. The first one is FlowDrop Agents. And what this module is going to do is going to integrate all AI agent capability inside FlowDrop. So after enabling this module, you will be able to include all existing AI agents inside FlowDrop workflow. For example, when you drag and sort this component, this AI agent executor component inside your workflow, you will see this sidebar configuration where you can just create an AI agent from the scratch or selecting an existing one. In this case, the example that we have there is just selecting an existing AI agent. Then we will get a preview where we can see, for example, the description of the agent, the tools that this agent is using, also the system prompt that this agent is following. And you can even edit the agent from the workflow. So when you click on Edit Agent, you will go into the agent workflow, and then you will be able to see in a really good way what is happening there. For example, you have the agent, you have the tools that are connected to this agent. You will be able to also drag and sort new tools inside the workflow, and it will be, or they will be automatically connected to the agent. Also, you could click on the agent and configure everything there. The prompt, the max loop, everything will be able to be configured from there. So we can tell that we have solved the first problem. Now the flow is clear, and yeah, you can even see how the agent behaves. The next thing that I would like to show you is how we audit the complete flow. In the screenshot, you can see a playground with a chatbot coming from the FlowDrop module, where the user is just asking to create a new content type. And then we can see that we have the output of the assistant, which is telling, okay, the content type has been created for you. And after the chatbot gives us a proper output, we can check the pipeline. This concept, pipeline, is something that we have introduced in FlowDrop in order to audit all the workflow. For example, you can see here that we have chat input, AI agent executor, a chat output. They are the components that we had in our workflow. And for example, now, if you click in one of them, you will be able to see the input, the output data, everything is auditable now. So here we have, for example, the AI agent executor input data and output data. You can see, for example, the input data is task description with create a new content called agent. This was the user input that we were checking in the playground. And then we have the output data. So we have the agent ID, we have agent type, execution metadata with the tools that this agent has executed, the output of each tool. So now you can see that everything is auditable. If something goes wrong, something failed, you can come here and then check where it was failing. For example, if the input data was empty or something is wrong in the output data, everything now is clear, so the logic is not hidden anymore, and debugging this is easier than ever. The next module that compone this FlowDrop AI ecosystem is FlowDrop AI Provider. And this module is going to enable all the Drupal AI capabilities inside FlowDrop. For example, it will include operation types like chat, embeddings, text to text to image, or all of these operation types coming from Drupal AI will be available in FlowDrop as component. Okay, so you will be able to drag and sort this component and configure them in order to have this in your workflows. We are also integrating AI guardrails with this configuration entity coming from Drupal AI module. Also AI prompts, which will be used in the chat operation. We will see this later, okay? In the next example, in this workflow that we have created, we have the AI guardrail component. So when you drag and sort this component inside your workflow, you can see that this is pretty similar than the AI agent executor that we saw previously. You will be able also to create a set of guardrails from the scratch, or even select an existing set of guardrails. For example, as you can see in the sidebar, we have a guardrail set already selected, and then we have a preview of this guardrail set. For example, we have the description, we have some configuration like a stop threshold, we have the guardrails that conform this set of guardrails, and you will be able also to edit the word rail from the workflow. So if you click on edit, you will go to the word rail and you could just edit, add, for example, in this case, valid topics, invalid topics, the violation message that will be there. Everything now is consistent. You will be able to just access for everything from the workflow. The next example that I want to show you is the operation type. As I told you, with FlowDrop AI provider, we are including many operation types like chat, embeddings, and so on. But in this case, what I'm going to showcase today is the chat operation type. So when you drag and sort this component inside the workflow, you will be able to select an LLM, for example, depending on the AI provider that you have previously configured, for example, Anthropic, OpenAI, or whatever. You will just choose the LLM that you want to use. You will be able also to set the temperature, configure the max token, and also add system prompts. For example, imagine that you have created previously outside FlowDrop an AI prompt, because this is a configuration entity coming from Drupal AI, as I said. You can create a bunch of AI prompts, and then you will be able to select these existing prompts here. And then after that, you will have the preview of the prompt, and you can even edit this prompt from here. Or if you want to create prompt as configuration entity, you can add even direct prompts, which are not going to be storage in configuration. So collaboration is not harder anymore, and even non-developers are going to follow this kind of workflows, okay? And now it's time for the demo. As I told you, I have prepared some demos, but we are going to start with the first one, with this here. I'm going to open the demo site that I have created. So this is a Drupal CMS 2.0, and what I'm going to, I have previously installed a recipe which is called Drupal CMS AI recipe, which is going to provide everything from AI. It is going to provide the provider. In this case, I'm going to use OpenAI. It's going to provide, for example, an assistant that you can use to create content types. Everything is provided by this recipe, okay? So you just need to install the recipe and you will have everything ready to use. So as I told you, we have this assistant with this by default coming from the Drupal CMS AI recipe. So you can just go there and just start interacting with him. For example, how are you doing today? And as I told you, this is something that is coming from Drupal AI. This is nothing about FlowDrop yet, okay? And you can see that this is working, is working really well. But now what I'm going to show you is how this is created. What do you need to create this? So you need to go to configuration, to AI, for example, and then you go to AI agents. And the first thing that you will need to do, just using Drupal AI without FlowDrop out of the box, is create the agent that you want to have. For example, we have here content type agent. We have several agents coming from the Drupal CMS AI recipe. And if you go to configure, you will have this configuration form that I was talking about, okay? And as you can see, we have here the prompt. We have the tools that you need to configure. You can go here and select which tool do you want to add. Yeah. As I said, this is in a really a Drupal way to do the things, and non-technical people coming outside Drupal could find this really hard to follow. The next thing that you will need to do, for example, when you try to create this kind of agent, once you have created the agent here, is go into AI, tools and automation, and then create an assistant, okay? Then in this assistant, you will need to tell, okay, which are the instructions that is going to follow, and then you will need to select the previous agent that you have created. So you can see that you are jumping from the configuration to the agent, then you need to go and you need to create the assistant, then you need to tell, okay, I want to use this agent. And then the next thing that you will need to do in order to have this chatbot that we have here is going into structure, block layout, then going into gene, which is the administration thing that we are using, and add a new block there. So the block, here in the block, you will need to select which assistant you want to use, okay? So we have three steps. We need to jump from the AI agent creation, assistant creation, and then the chatbot creation, where we need to check, or to, in this case, select which assistant is going to use this agent. So yeah, as I told, this is really hard to follow. We, as Drupal developer, maybe is not so difficult. I can tell you that it is difficult, and even a Drupal developer can have problems in order to configure this. So this is one of the reasons why we are going to do this using FlowDrop, and then you could see how easy it's going to be. We need to go to FlowDrop workflows, okay? And then we are going to add a new workflow. What we are going to do is just the same that we did in order to have this chatbot. We are going to do the same, but using FlowDrop, okay? So we are going to create a new workflow with this called Drupal CMS Assistant Agentic Workflow. And now we are going to build our workflow. So the first thing that we will need to add is the AI agent executor that I told you. We just need to try to find it and then drag and sort, and then we will have our component there. The next thing that we need to do is just click on the component and then start configuring. So as I told you before, we have two options. We can create the agent from the scratch. So if you click on create, you can start creating the agent. So we can go here, add the label, description. We can just add a direct prompt or create a new one with this configuration entity, as I told you. And then we can just start adding tools. So as you can see, when we drag and sort, this is going to auto-connect everything. After that, you just need to save, and then the agent will be available in FlowDrop. But we are not going to create an agent from the scratch. We are going to reuse the Drupal CMS assistant that I have been showing you in order to do the same that we are doing now with the AI recipe, but using FlowDrop. So what we need to do is come here, and then we are going to try to find the existing agent, in this case, Drupal CMS Assistant. So when we click and we select this assistant, we have the description, okay? We have the tools that in this case are sub-agents with this content type sub-agent, field sub-agent, and taxonomy sub-agent. And then we also have the preview of the prompt that is going to follow this agent. So the next thing that I'm going to do, because right now you can see that the label is really generic, we are going to just change this. So we go here and we are going to tell Drupal CMS Assistant, and then we are going to also add the description. So you can see that now it is more descriptive. It's not just AI agent executor. We know that this component is going to use the Drupal CMS Assistant. Now that we have configured this agent, this assistant, we are going to add a guardrail in order to add some validation to our workflow. So for that, we just need to try to find the AI guardrail component. This is coming from the FlowDrop AI provider module. We just need to drag and sort, and then we will have the component there. And then we are going to start configuring this. So we just click on there, and then the same. Here, we can create a set of guardrails from the scratch. So if you go here, you can just start creating the guardrail, or we can just reuse an existing one. This is what I'm going to do. I have this one, with this coming from the Drupal CMS AI recipe. And what it's going to do is just unblock, it is going to just stop the workflow when you try to inject something in the prompt, when you are trying to create a content type or a content or whatever. We will see this later, okay? So we select this existing guardrail set, and then we have the description, we have the result, and then we have all the guardrail that this set is using. So we have the CSS expression injection, we have JavaScript execution function, and then we have the prompt manipulation. So this will be the one that we are going to try to make fail, okay? We can even check what is doing that. So if we go here, we edit, we can see that it is use AI topic classification to detect, attempt to manipulate, override, or hiccup the agent instruction. And then it has some invalid topics that are all registered here. And we can see also that this guardrail have some violation message that will be shown when the guardrail is just not passing the validation. So same here. This is too generic. We are going to tell, for example, safety security guardrail. And then just close it. So the next thing that we need to add, the next component, is a Boolean gateway, because we need to check what is going to, for example, if the guardrail is passing, we are going to just trigger our assistant, okay? We just connect true with the trigger. And then if the guardrail is not passing, what we are going to do is just showing a chat output with the violation message, okay? So we move this here, and then we connect this violation output, which is going to give us the violation message, and we are going to show this in the chat output. So the next thing that we will need to add is a chat input, is like where the user will add the query, and then we are going to connect this to the test input in the guardrail. So this is going to pass the guardrail, the user input to the guardrail. The guardrail is going to check if this is passing or not. If this is passing, it is going to call our assistant, okay? And it is just going to pass the user input as task description. And if not, it is going to just show a chat output with the violation message, why this is not passing the validation. And then at the end, we just need to connect our assistant with a chat output, which is going to just show the response from the assistant, okay? So you can see now that our workflow is already built. I'm going to just clean this a bit, because you can see that we have some cross connection, and this is something that we even can solve in FlowDrop. So let me just check this. We are going to also hide unconnected port, because you can see that we have a lot of unconnected port that are doing bigger this component. We just need to go into the component and just hide unconnected ports. And we are going to do that for all the components. Same here. And here also for the chat output, we are going to change the style, because we can select, for example, simple or square, and you can see that this is going to be even, minimal. Then do the thing here to just hide the unconnected ports, and also for the input. And now we are going to solve the cross connection. So we are going to move the paste output just down here. Okay. This over there, and then we are going to move also this input to be like that. So now everything is clean. We don't have any cross connection, and it is even more understandable, as you can see. So, okay, this will be our workflow. As I told you before, the user is going to add a user query. This is going to check if this is passing the validation or not. If this is passing the validation, it is going to trigger our assistant, passing the user input, and then it is going to just give the output. If the guardrail is not passing, this is just going to show the violation message. Why this is not passing? What's happening there? And then we just going to click on save. And now we are going to check that everything works. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is just checking this in the playground that I was showing in the slides. I'm going to remove all of this, and then we are going to start something from the scratch. We can tell, for example, hi, how are you doing? This is just in order to check that everything works, okay? What this is going to do now is just going into the word rail. It's going to check if the user input is okay. It's going to pass to the assistant, and then it's going to give us an output, as you can see. But this is just to test that our workflow is working. What we are going to do now is we are going to use or trigger our workflow from the chatbot that we have in our site from here, okay? And what we need to do is going into a structure, block layout, and then we go to Gin. We check the chatbot that we have already created, and then we are going to configure this. Right now, this is using the AI Assistant API. This is coming from Drupal AI. This is the non-FlowDrop way to trigger the agent. And what we are going to do now is telling, okay, we are going to use this FlowDrop workflow. This is something that I will explain you later, because we have introduced something in Drupal AI which is called chat processor. Until now, the way that we have to create a chatbot is using an AI assistant. If you don't have an AI assistant already created, you cannot trigger the chatbot. You cannot use the chatbot, only can use it from AI assistant. We have a really hard dependency there. But what we are going to achieve with this chat processor is that we are going to allow to use the chatbot with whatever thing that we want. For example, we can use it with FlowDrop, just triggering the workflow. And this is what we are going to do now. We are going to choose this FlowDrop workflow with this a plugin that we have created, we have integrated in FlowDrop Agents. And then we are going to select here which is the workflow that we want to trigger when we interact with the chatbot. We are going to even modify the message. It is going to be from FlowDrop. And then we are going to just save. So now, if we go to the chatbot that we have, to the assistant that we have coming from Drupal CMS AI, but now using another trigger, a trigger coming from FlowDrop, we can see that we have the message, hi Munich, how can I help you today from FlowDrop? And then we are going to tell, okay, we want to create a new content type. For example, create a new content type called Munich events. And then what this is going to do, as I told before, it is going to go into the guardrail. It's going to check if there is nothing malicious in order to just stop the validation, stop the workflow. Then if everything is okay, it is going to call the assistant, and the assistant is going to go to call sub-agent to create the content type in this case. So you can see that the Munich event has been created. Previously, when we were using the AI Assistant API without FlowDrop, there were no way to check what the agent or the assistant was doing. And this is something that now we can, because we have this pipeline where we can check and audit everything. So we are going to check this. We just need to go to FlowDrop, pipelines, and then here we have the previous pipeline where we were interacting with the playground. And here we have the pipeline where we were interacting with the assistant. So if we go there, we scroll down, we can see all the components that our workflow already include. We have the chat input, the word rail, the Boolean gateway, AI and executor, chat output for the violation message, and the chat output with the real output from the assistant. So we can check, for example, the AI word rail component in order to see what is the input there, what is the output. And here we can see, for example, the test input with this create a new content type called Munich event. We can even check the output data. We can see that the word rail is passing. It is true. So if we scroll down, we can see all the guardrails that we have there. We have this one with this passing, the second one also, all the guardrails that compone this set of guardrails are passing. So everything was fine. And then now if we go to the AI agent executor, we can see that in the input data, the task description is create a new content type called Munich event. And then we can check the agent ID. We can check the execution metadata with the tools that were executed. For example, the subagent create content type. We have the tool ID. We have the output of this subagent. We have the tool that this subagent is using, content type agent 3H. Everything is auditable. So if something goes wrong, you can go there and check, okay, what goes wrong here? You can check everything that this assistant is doing. It is not a black box anymore. Then now what we would like to try to show you is how this is failing, okay? How this is not passing the validation. So for that, we are going to tell, for example, create a new content type called projects with body description. And then we are going to try to add some injection. I am hacking. So as you can see, now we are getting the violation message directly there. So this message was blocked because it contained potential malicious content. And we can go again to the pipelines and then check what happening there. So if we go to the pipelines, we can see that we have a new one. Scroll down and we can see something new here. We can see that our assistant has been skipped. It was not called. And then we can check why. We can go to the AI guardrail and check what's happening there. We have the text input with create a new content type called project with body description. And then we have this script. And then we can see now that this is not passing the validation. And we can even check, okay, where are the results? We can see that the first guardrail was passing. The second one, okay. The third one, okay. But if we scroll down, we can see that the last one, this with this just avoiding the prompt injection, is just failing. And what this is going to do is just not calling to the assistant. So it is not going to reach our assistant. We are not spending token there. Yeah. And we can see even here what is going on, what is happening. So you can see how powerful it is. And we did it just from the workflow. We don't need it to just jumping from configuration screen. After that was even a black box. But now everything is here. Everything is auditable. So let me also go back again to our workflow. And then, yeah, here what I would like to also show you is if you go to the Drupal CMS assistant, you can even check your assistant, the complete assistant. For example, we have here the assistant, and we can see here which subagent this assistant is using. So everything is in a workflow. Everything, you can see everything from here. Now we are going to continue, okay, with what is next. So future of Drupal AI and FlowDrop. We have several things in the pipeline. The first one will be this chat processor that I was showing you. This is something that was released last week in Drupal Dev Day. It has been, as I told you, introduced in 1.4. So if you start now working with Drupal AI and you install the latest version, 1.4.0 RC, I think, release candidate is the latest version, you will be able to trigger your workflows from the chatbot. This is something that is already there for you. And this is something that we were working on the issue that you have in the screen. So you can even check what was done there, and everything is there. The next thing that we are going to work on, or we are currently working on, is in the FlowDrop AI ecosystem, is FlowDrop Context Control Center. This is going to integrate AI context module inside FlowDrop. So you will have another component where you can just select which context do you want to pass to an AI agent, to an AI assistant. For example, imagine that you have a site where you have created all the context describing what is doing the site, what about your content, everything is there. You could just drag and sort a new component, which is going to be AI context, and then select which content do you want to pass to the assistant, or even you can just tell, okay, pass all the content that we have in the site and pass this to the assistant. So there is an input in the AI agent executor, which is called additional context. So apart from the task description that we are passing from user input, you can even pass the additional context. So your assistant will have more context, more knowledge about what we need to do. It will help you better. It will avoid hallucination, for example. And this in combination with AI guardrail, yeah, we are creating a really predictable, auditable, and also secure agentic workflow. So this is going to be really, really nice. And then the last thing that we are currently working is FlowDrop AI Assistant. And what this is going to do is just, you already see, or you already saw how we can create the workflows manually. You need to go to the sidebar. You just need to search by AI agent executor, guardrail, just drag and sort and add this inside the workflow. But with AI, with FlowDrop AI Assistant, what we are going to have is an assistant there in the workflow builder, where you can tell, okay, I want to create a workflow with a chat input, which is going to translate the user input from German or from English to German. So yeah, we are going to see this now because this is the other demo that I have prepared. But yeah, you can imagine how powerful this is going to be. Okay, so here we are. Okay, this is a new demo site that I have with FlowDrop installed, where I have this new AI assistant functionality. We are going to do the same. We are going to create a new workflow, which is going to call translator workflow. We save, and then we go to our editor in order to build. Yeah, this is in dark mode. I'm going to change this in order to. I prefer light. Yeah, and now we can see that here we have a new component, a new link with this. If you click there, you have this assistant. So if you go to AI chat, we can start to interact with it. And then we are going to tell, as I told you, for example, okay, create a workflow with chat input to translate the user input from English to German. Configure the temperature to be 0.3. The max tokens 1 to 2, 0, 0, and configure the prompt to be an expert translate. Okay, so now we click here, and then we will see what this is going to do for us. We already have the output from the assistant, and the assistant is telling, okay, I will build a simple left to right workflow with chat input, call it the user English test, simple chat. With this, the chat operation that I was talking about, where you can select the LLM that we want to use and so on, and then it is going to translate into German. This also have human in the loop, so you can decide if you want to read or not. We are going to apply, and then voila, we already have the workflow created. And if we close this, we can even check, for example, if we go to the simple chat, the model that it has selected, we could even tell, okay, I prefer other model, not this one. Then we have the temperature in 0.3, as I told in the assistant. We have the max token, and it has even configured the prompt to be an expert translator. Okay. Then we are going to save this, and we are going to check that if this is working or not. Okay. Hello, Munich. How are you doing. And then if everything goes well, this will translate the input to German. So this is even working. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So this is a simple example, but you can imagine how powerful this is when we can just, tell, use this agent at the guardrail at this context from the site, and you don't need to worry about what you need to add, what you need to connect, because the assistant is going to do it for you. So yeah, this is really, really nice. Okay, so with that, we are just finishing. So now is the time to questions. If there is any doubt, whatever, yeah, now is the time, and I will more than happy to resolve or your doubt. Maybe now it's time to unmute, Christopher.
Awesome. Thank you very much, David.
You are welcome.
Yeah. I hope you heard your applause.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much.
Achso, ja, genau. Okay, let's show us. Say hi again.
Hello.
Right. Are there any questions, please?
Do you know the tool FlowWise?
FlowWise.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard a bit about that, but I didn't try it. I mean, my colleagues see.
It looks similar. I'm asking myself if this tool could be an alternative to FlowWise, so we don't have to connect our system to FlowWise, but instead use your FlowDrop as an alternative for it, so we can simplify our stack.
Yeah, totally. For example, at the end, you need to think that this is something that we are building inside Drupal. You can use this inside Drupal. For example, you don't need to use an external tool like in this case, FlowWise or NNA or Langflow or whatever other thing. So with that, with FlowDrop, everything is inside Drupal.
Perfect. That looks very promising.
Yeah. Let's see how far we go with that.
Any more questions?
Do you use this in production websites or just test it at the moment?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, we already launched a project last month where we already have FlowDrop working. So it is ready for production. And yeah, we are using in our projects. So yeah.
What are the things that don't work at the moment?
Thing that doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, at the end, everything that we have integrated, for example, these modules that I showed you, because at the end, FlowDrop was created by one of my colleagues with this Shivin. And what I'm trying to do is just integrating everything from Drupal AI, because I'm maintainer of the Drupal AI module. I have some knowledge, and then I'm trying to move all from them inside FlowDrop. So everything that we are integrating from Drupal AI right now is working. What is not working, for example, is these things that we are currently working on. For example, FlowDrop context control center, which hopefully we will have a release maybe next week or the week after. And even this FlowDrop AI assistant with this a proof of concept where we are currently working. So these are the things that are not working, but are not even available. The other things that we have integrated are working really well nowadays.
Can the AI assistant help you validating your workflow configuration, like telling you that you did some mistakes semantically or?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. As I told you, this is something that is a proof of concept. I mean, we have not created a really big workflow yet. At the end, we have just testing with this small or simple example where you can ask a simple chat, selecting LLM and so on. We didn't check yet, for example, adding an AI agent and then connecting tools and so on. So yeah, but in the future, if you tell, for example, okay, I see, imagine that you want go to the playground and you try to check if this is working and you get a fail or whatever, okay? You can tell the AI assistant, okay, this is failing and we are getting this error. Could you check and fix it? And it will fix this for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I have some feedback about the user interface. I'm just curious for which type of users is this targeted? Is this for site builders?
yeah, this is something that is more oriented for technical people. I mean, you need to have some knowledge in order to can use this at the moment. For example, when we have this FlowDrop AI assistant in a better shape, maybe people who is not used to work with it could use it, but when things are not going well, this is going to need some technical knowledge in order to make it work. So non-technical people will, yeah, maybe it will be difficult to create the workflows, but yeah, it is easier than not following, for example, a configuration form. So, for example, if you have knowledge creating NNA workflows, Langflow workflows, or whatever, you will be able to do it also with that because it's pretty similar. But you need to have this knowledge. You will need to know what you need to connect and all of these things.
I think clarity as a target can be reached in this way as you showed us, which is nice. I think also various users are not really interested in the clarity, but just make some things work. And
Yeah.
I think that also could be something having a look at for opening up this whole ecosystem for others who don't really know the ecosystem itself.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this AI assistant has huge potential for, yeah.
It's a huge potential, but yeah, you need to do it really well. I mean, at the end, when you are creating an AI assistant, you need to take in mind a lot of things. So before that, we can just release something like that, we need to just take care of a lot of things because, you know.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, just an idea, maybe it's stupid, but could you possibly connect this with your Jira and then get the process to all the tickets that are in there so you can just watch it and the website is done?
It is not a stupid question. It is a really good one because at the end, all of these components that you drag and sort inside the workflow, these are plugins. So you can create your own plugin, your custom plugin, in this case, for example, for Jira. And then you can just build whatever you want there. And then when you drag and sort this component, you connect whatever. Yeah, it will just work with Jira, for example.
Describing everything in Jira anyway, so the description of what you need is there, so it can grab it from there and do it.
Exactly, and make whatever you want with the data. So, but the data will be there for you.
Okay.
Yeah. But you can think, for example, you are thinking about Jira, but you can think in whatever other tools. So connecting Slack, Mattermost to send a message when something happened. Yeah.
We're gonna try it next week.
Yeah. Really looking forward for your feedback.
Okay, I think that's it. No more No more questions now. So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much. So it has been great to share this hour with you. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So thanks again. Goodbye.
Thank you.